Hi everyone, it's Annamarie from Annamarie Oke Designs, and I'm here in my studio today to give you well, it's First Friday, free First Friday for myself and Jelly Bean. We're doing a Christmas ornament or a Christmas design, and this one is goodies from Santa. And I'm going to be demoing this with you and showing how cool doing the boot with the beautiful colors from the Americana Premiums and the fur with our Dynasty brushes, of course. And we're going to do a nice little evergreen tree or limbs there. You can see the beautiful greenery on the top of the boot. We're going to be doing that with the wave, the Dynasty Black Gold wave. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to okay, I'm just going to move my piece to the side a little bit here, and I'm going to bring my piece up. I base coated these these are wooden panels that I had bought. I think it was at Michael's. I had these wooden panels. They're really nice to paint on, nice surface. And I base coated them with my chalky gesso, but this one I base coated with the DecoArt acrylic, the lamp black. And I just used my large faux sable and base coated the background. I'm going to show you the brushes that we're going to use today for this project. And the very first one is your #1 flat faux sable. And those are beautiful, beautiful brushes to use for your acrylics or your oils or whatever. I'm also using a #10 flat, and I'm going to be using a 1 script liner. To make the fur for the top of the boot, I'm going to be using my 3/4 faux sable. It's a comb, and I love using that big one to make nice fur. And for the evergreen, you're going to be using the Black Gold by Dynasty #16. Oops, this one here is #16. Here we go. And you can use any sizes in the Black Gold wave. They make beautiful trees and foliage, and I'll show you how quick and easy that is to work with. Those brushes here, the faux sables and the script liners, and that are on my website at AnnamarieOkeDesigns.com, and you can order them from there. But Jelly Bean has a variety of the Black Gold wave on her website, the 16. I'm also going to use the #10 Black Gold wave, and it's an oval, like a little oval on the top. So we'll work with that as well. So she has a variety of brushes on her website as well that you can order from her. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is to trace our design. And I think I had such a great time designing my Halloween boot and candies. I thought, oh, this will be cool to do a Christmas one. So I'm just going to quickly trace out my pattern. You can use your stylus, or you can use the ballpoint pen. It's up to you what you want to use. And I'm just going to quickly. I didn't trace out my goodies on top of the boot yet. I want to do the hole in the boot first before I trace out the other pieces. Okay, so we're going to use, the colors we're using today are the lamp black, and it's all our DecoArt colors. Americana, our Snow White. Put it here while I'm loading it up. And we might as well pour all of our colors. I'm using in the DecoArt American Premiums, I'm using a quinacridone red. I'm going to get one that I have already opened. There we go. Quinacridone red. And that looks like a little bit of a pinkish in the red. It's not as bright as what I'd like. And I'm also going to be using a Periol red. And you spell that Pyrrrole. And it's a beautiful color, red. There you go, for the Santa boot. I use Christmas time on my mats, on my Santa boots, on my trucks. I use a lot of these colors, and I just love working with them. And there's a little trick to that as well. I'm not going to, well, maybe I will. No, I don't think I will. I'm not going to pour up my evergreen colors yet, or my mermaid tail for the candies. We'll do that in a moment. So those are your colors that we have on our palette. So the very first thing I'm going to do is to take my number 10 flat. Where are you? My number 10 flat, here we are. And I'm going to wet my brush and dab it on a paper towel. I'm going to load my black and fully load, pushing those bristles down, and just a little tiny bit of white to make a gray color. I'm going to hold my brush almost perpendicular and filling in the top of the boot, okay? We're just filling it in very loosely. It's like a gray color with a bit of shade, and that's all we need. Okay, there you go. I went on the chisel edge, which was the very top part of the brush, and then I flattened it out to bring out that dark shadow. And we're done with the opening of the boot. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is the boot itself. I'm going to move with my 3/4 or my 1-inch flat. Here we go, my 1-inch flat. And I'm going to load the very first red that we put on there, the quinacridone red, load my bristles. I'm going to give my boot a very loose cover of the red, okay? I don't want complete coverage. I want that black to show through, alrighty? And I'm just slip slapping, very loosey-goosey, there you go. And I'm using the side of my brush there to make the nice shape of the toe, and very loosely slip slap on that quinacridone red. Okay, it's a beautiful color. It's like a fuchsia color, and it's in the premiums. Okay, I love the richness of the premiums. They're so rich and beautiful. Beautiful shade. Okay, now we're going to leave that as is. I'm going to rinse my brush, and you can see I didn't fill it all in. I just, just very loosely filled it in, okay? I wasn't too fussy of what I did. I'm going to move down to my, let's see, now we'll move back here, there you go, to my heel and my tap, okay? And I'll go back to my number 10 flat. Just rinse my brush and lay them on my paper towel. My number 10 flat, and I will go into my black again. I would load my black, and I would go a little bit of the white to make that gray color. I'm going to hold my brush on my chisel edge and sweep it down and go back and sweep down and come in the center. There you go. I have my tap. See that? You still want that grayish tone there. Okay. If you want it a little darker, just move into your black, and on the chisel edge, just go back with a little darker. And that looks nice as well. Okay. For the heel, it's the same thing. Reload that black, a little bit of white. And using the flat part of my bristles, I went on my left-hand side of my heel, and I brought it forward to the right hand side. And I kind of push down on my bristles a little to make it a little rounded. Okay, I think I'll add a little bit more white into that. There you go. And I'm okay with that. So that's our heel. Okay, now our boot color is fairly dry. Okay, it may not be dry enough to touch, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to show you how I added the main color of red, and you can see the difference of the two reds when you put them close together. So you have like a pinkish is the under coat, and now it's the Periol red. Okay, I'm going to fully load my bristles into that red, and I love that red color. I go right to my boot, and I go around the opening, come around the front. The faux sables are such beautiful brushes to work with. And I have a lot of the sets on my website, Annamarie Oke Designs. You can go on there and look and see what I got there, and I will ship them to you. And I'm going to continue with my covering in my boot, and there you go. Moving in around the toe so you get a nice sharp toe shape. There you go. My mom had a ceramic boot one time with a flower in it that I gave her, and I just loved it. Don't know what happened to it in the end, but I just love that ceramic boot, and it was the exact same color as this, so I was very attracted to this. And I found an old picture actually on my mom's through my mom's an album that had that planter, and it was such a big fat toe on it. I really liked it. Now, while this boot is wet, we're going to be painting wet on wet. I'm keeping my dirty brush. I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm going to corner into that black, and I'm going to go around the bottom part towards the heel. Now you can see how neat that you can shade with this paint. Just such good shading. I'm going to go around the opening too, and around the front edge there, and right where the crease where he would make a bend. It's going to be covered up with the fur, but just to show you how really nice we can make a shadow. And you can see I'm shadowing, just moving it around. And that's the premiums that you're able to do that great shading with. There you go. That's our boot. To get rid of the, the stops and starts, you can see here a couple. I just came back, held my brush in the middle right here, and very lightly got rid of those stops and starts. I like to say they are. Good. Very lightly feathered them out. And we're good. Okay. I'm liking it. I'm liking the boot. Okay. I think down here, I came down too far on my original drawing there. I'm just going to show you here now what I'm going to do. I'm going to load up with my small number 10 flat into black, and I'm going to make that, return that to the black. There we go. Between the heel and the tap, it's a little bit of a slant up there. So we're good. You can never make a boo-boo. It's all good. Okay. So we're going to let that dry a little. Okay, I began, I base coated my face on my Raggedy Ann with the DecoArt Mocha. It's a little lighter than the dried clay, which sometimes I use as well. And I kind of like that color. I did that so it would have drying time, and that is 3 coverages on that. Okay, so 3 coats, letting each coat dry and then apply another one. I am going to move on, I think, with my candy cane here and there, the two candy canes, because they are in the background. So I'm going to load my warm white, and I'm going to use my 1/2 inch flat, and I'm just going to give it a nice coat. This is my 1/2 inch faux sable, and I'm just going to give it a nice coverage. There you go, right to the end of the top of the boot on the outside. I'm going to do the other candy cane, which you can see is tucked in behind that truck there. And you can come over the lid a little. Okay, come over the lid a little. There you go. And we'll let that dry. I'm going to go ahead with my mermaid tail and give my lollipops a cover or a coat, I should say. There you go. And this one. And they're just two circles. And where there's black in the background, you can see it's sinking in. So we'll need 2, possibly 3 coats of the mermaid tail. I love the mermaid tail. It's a beautiful color. Okay, while that's drying a little before we add another coat, I am going to use my number 4 black gold round. If you have a 6, it's fine, or even an 8, it's fine. I'm going to be using Tuscan, I think it's Tuscan Red, yeah, by DecoArt, Americana. And I'm going to give my sleeves a little coat of color. And that Tuscan Red is very good coverage. There you go. And the little section under her chin, which is showing through. And on the other side, the other arm is tucked inside that sock. So there we go. Okay, it dries very fast on the board panel, which is great. And you have to do 2 or 3 coats. Okay, I'm going to switch back to my 1/2 inch faux sable, and I'm going to put another coat of the mermaid tail for my lollipops. And this one here, we can even come over that candy cane if we want to. We can always go with the white after. Okay, so one side is there. The other half of the lollipop is underneath the candy cane, so we're good. Okay, and give it a rinse. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with my Tuscan Red and the truck. I think I'll do the truck, which is over here on this side next. I'm going to load up the Tuscan Red and form my truck, doing the hood of the truck first, and then I'm going to come over with my fender. There you go. And my door. And this truck, you're only seeing a portion of it because the rest is tucked away in that boot. So then you're going to come around using your chiseled edge of your brush. Come around for the bonnet or the hood or the roof. All the names on the trucks, hey, the hood, the fender, the door, and the roof. There you go. Just go give it another cover. Okay. And I'm coming right down to that very edge. Okay, I'm going back with my number 4 black gold round, and I'm going to be base coating my hand on the Raggedy Ann. There you go. And I think that'll only take one, or need one cover actually. That looks like it's covering very well. Okay, the next thing, I think let's do the face on the Raggedy Ann. Since we'll let the rest of this dry a little bit, we'll go to the face. And we're going to be putting cheeks, and I like to use number 12 Dynasty. It's the blenders, and Jilly Bean on jillybean.net. I think she has those, I'm sure actually, and she will be having more different sizes for sure. So you get in contact with her. And these are awesome brushes for cheeks, for dry brushing, and they're just awesome, awesome brushes. Okay, so we're going to load up with that Tuscan red, and I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to wipe off all the excess. You don't want to have a lot of paint on that. I'm then going to go to the left-hand side, and I'm going to bring in a little soft rosy cheek, okay, just like that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the line work on the face and the stitching marks. That's done with your number 1 script liner and watered down a little, and they're just stitching lines, okay, just little tiny stitching lines which come right down to the mouth, and the mouth is a stitching line as well. Okay, the eyes are done also with the 1 script liner, and I'm just going to put a little eye there and a flick and a little eye there, a couple little lashes. Okay, for the nose, it's just a triangle, and I did that with the script liner and with Tuscan red, and I went down and over, and there you go. We may need another little coat on that for coverage to let that dry. And for the mouth, you can use a stylus, or you can use the end of your paintbrush and go into the Tuscan red. You make 2 dots, same size, just like that. And then you take your script liner and you kind of join in the middle for a heart. There you go. And that's how you do that. We're going to begin with some hair on the Raggedy Ann. And first of all, I think I'm noticing I need another little bit of coverage on the hand there. So it dried out a lot faster and dried in a lot more than I thought it was going to be. There you go. Okay. So for the hair, I just did loops, okay, with my script liner. And I'm going to go into the red and fully load. And I'm just going to kind of, I hope you can see me here. And I think you can. Just kind of loopy-loop, loosey-goosey, okay? And come around with loops. You can water down your Tuscan red a little too if you want to. It just spreads a little easier. There we go. She's having a bad hair day or a good hair day. Who knows? I am going to add a little bit of white to it to bring in a little bit of a highlight because it fades so much into that dark background. Remember to water down your script liner and making those thin lines, okay? There you go. And we can kind of let that dry a little and add more if we want to. But that's the gist of it. I'm going to the right, I'm going to the left, making loops. There you go, for the Raggedy Ann. Okay, we'll leave that for now. I am going to use my number 4 black gold again. And I want to do this apron part here on the Raggedy Ann. And I'm doing that in warm white as well. And I come around. Most of the apron is tucked away in that sock. So it's basically just the top portion that you're seeing. Okay, so you're just giving it a coat of warm white, and it's okay to see a few lines there because it's a material, and it's okay. There you go. For the straps, I use my 4 black gold as well, and I just came down with the straps for the apron. Okay, I think that's good there. We'll let that dry. Okay. For the lollipops, we're just going to water down our warm white, and we're going to do a few swirls. If I can get my hand out of the way here, that you can see me go round and around, just like that. Okay, and we'll do this one as well. Well, you need your paint watered down a little bit to let it flow easily. Okay, so you're going to go around and around and around. There we go. And that's the way that's done. Nothing to it. Okay. I think I'm going to want my second lollipop there to go in behind that candy cane. So let's give that candy cane another coverage. There you go. Let's put it behind. So when I demo the stripes on the candy cane, it'll be easy to see. Most of this is going to be covered up with the greenery, so we're not to worry. Okay. So we're looking pretty good. Let's see what else we need to do here. I'm going to do a little shadowing, little shading next to the sleeve and the hand there. And I will do a little shadowing on that apron. Okay, I'm going to do that with black and just a little bit on the corner and shadow that hand there. Perfect. And let's shadow underneath those straps. There we go. That's about basically all you need to shadow there. Very little shadow. And you just do that with your 1/2 inch faux sable flat and just kind of come around. There we go. Okay. It looks like that candy cane is drying, so let's put another coat of warm white on that. There you go. Now it's really covered. The tire on the truck, it's done with black, and I'm going to use my number 4 black gold round, and I'm just going to cover it in there with lamp black. Okay, let it dry. Also the window for the truck, let's do that as well while we have it around that side, and with the 4 round as well. And you just fill it in. Okay. Now, I think our candy canes are looking dry. It's great. Our colors are, our paint is drying very well, which is awesome. I'm going to take my 1/2 inch faux sable again, and I'm going to load in that Tuscan red. Okay. And I'm going to start to make stripes for the candy canes. Okay. And I'm just going to come here and down to the other side, there and down. You may need to reload, touch down, and there's a little bit there underneath. So you can see that I didn't just use a corner of my brush. I used the whole flat and came across. Okay. Same deal here. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to put another coverage of Tuscan red on that truck, okay? Because it's really sunken into the black, and I want to bring it out a bit more. And come over the roof, and I'm using my 1/2-inch faux sable. Go. And you come right to the end of the opening, the front part of the opening there. Okay, my stripes on my candy cane, I guess my paint wasn't as dried as what I thought. They look a little pinkish, so I am going to go with my Tuscan red again and just give it another coat of paint, like so. Okay. I'm going to shadow around the lollipop here, okay, and put a bit of shadowing there and there on my lollipop, just because I want it to sink into, let it sink in the background, make it look like it really is in the background. So I'm going to use my black, my lamp black, and add a shade. And I'm going to add a shade down there on that side and flip it over and add a shade there. Okay. There you go. Come right to the edge of that candy cane. Okay, I'm going to use my number 4 now and add a little bit more hair to my Raggedy Ann and a number 4 round. So instead of the script liner, let's do the number 4 round to add bigger curls, looser curls. There we go. Come out with it a little bit more. And of course, a little touch of white on that to add a highlight here and there, and we're good with that. And back to the red again. There we go. Okay. I am going to put a couple of buttons on the apron. And I'll use my stylus and I'll put a little button there and a button there, and that's done in Tuscan red, and with the black, a couple little buttons on her sleeve there. And we're good with that. For the candy canes, there's little stripes on the white part, the openings there where you don't see the red. I am going to add a little bit of Tuscan red there with my script liner. Just down, down, down. Very loosey-goosey, okay? There you go. And now I'm going to go to my truck and do a little bit of shadowing. So I'm going to shadow with the lamp black on the corner of my brush, and I'm just going to give it a little shade around that tire and around that fender, okay, and up that side of the door and down that side of the door, across by the window. And I fade out just with my brush. I bring it over and make it fade out. I hope you can see that there. Yeah, looks like you can. I'm getting more of a little bit of a glare, but I think it's fine. Sometimes I just feather out for the truck as well. Okay, I think we'll put a little fender on the front of the truck right here. Okay, I'm going to use black, and I'm going to swipe into the white. So we're really forming a gray. There we go. So that's for the fender. Okay. I want to highlight the tire as well. just because it just kind of fades into the black there. So I'm going to highlight with the lamp white and come around. There you go. Flip my brush, flip it again. So you just kind of go back and forth with a little flip and a highlight. I am going to highlight that window as well. Same thing with the warm white. Come around. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use my script liner and just kind of outline things a little. I didn't get too crazy with this because a lot of this is going to be pushed in the background once the greenery goes on, okay? But I did water down my lamp black to ink consistency and went with my script liner. There we go. And I didn't really stay specifically right on the outer edge, okay? It's nice to be out of the box a little bit. There we go. And I'll load up my script liner again, and I just kind of very loosely outlined the lollipops. I then going to very loosely outline around the fender, the hood, the doors, make a little handle, and on the bottom. And basically that's about all I did for that. I'm waiting for my candy canes to dry a little, okay? And I need to shade a little bit on the candy cane, on the red part of the candy cane, okay? I did that with lamp black. And I kind of went down, 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 down. Same thing, you may have enough on that side. Down, down. There you go. A little bit of a shade. While that's drying, a little bit there, we're going to add a highlight also on the candy cane, more to the right-hand side with white, okay? And I just added a little bit of white to the corner of my 1/2-inch faux sable, and I came down. There you go. And I did it again on this side. And just to add a highlight, okay? We're going to go with, before we start the fur, we're going to go with a little bit of greenery that's tucked inside of the boot, okay? Not the greenery that overlaps on that side or even on that side. So basically a couple stems in the center there. And I do that with my white. Okay, I do that with my warm white and my antique green. Or plantation pine is a very nice one as well. Decorator Americana, okay? And I use my number 16 black gold. And it's a wave brush, okay? So it's number 16 black gold by Dynasty, and Jelly Bean do have those on her website. So you go there and you can order your brushes through there for the wave and she has a lot of brushes. We both do. We both have a lot of brushes on our website. So it's nice to go to the website and see what's available and what brushes are there. Okay, so I went into my lamp black just a little to base coat my brush a little. On the corner, and I'm going to hold this right here so you can see me. On the corner, I'm dipping into that plantation pine I'm using there, and the opposite corner of white. Okay. And I'm going to make a greenery or branch right here. I'm holding it up. I hope you can see me here. Holding it up. And I'm dabbing on either side. I am going to go back into both of those colors again. And you can see how really nice the branch is turning out, okay? Go from each side and spreading it out, okay? And like I say, when you'll know when you lose the color, because it's nice to have the white tips. So that's basically what our first branch looks like. I am going to make another one here, okay, in the front of her dress there. And I went into the plantation pine and the white. And I just tap very lightly. You don't need to use a lot of pressure, but your white needs to stay on top. Okay, and your dark green or your antique green or whatever you have there needs to go on the opposite side. I am going to put one, I think one or two right here as well. And I just reload it. And I made my dab here and I just went on either side. Hard to believe that Christmas is so close, but it is. It's coming, and it's nice to do a lot of fun things for the season. That's a nice one as well. And right here, there we go. And I think I'm going to do one more right there before we start the fur. So just dab. This is giving you a lot of practice on doing branches, and everybody sees their forest as different. My forest here in Newfoundland is very dark green. We have a lot of evergreens, not many leaves, but it's very dark. So it's nice to paint dark, but then it's so nice to see the bright colors as well. So I'm going to rinse my brush and just lay it down, and I'm going to begin doing my fur on the top portion of my boot, okay? And I'm going to make sure that you see the tips of the fur down towards the bottom here, okay? So, and that's going to dry really well there while we're going with our fur. So my technique for the fur, or for bird feathers, or feathery strokes, even real feathers, I like to use the 3/4 faux sable, and it's a faux sable comb, and the hairs on the tip are very chipped out, which enables us to make nice fine strokes. But there is a little technique to it, okay? So I'm going to be demoing that technique for you. I'm going to pour up my warm white. Here we go. And I like to use clean water because we don't want no pinky stains or whatever in our white fur. But the first coat, you can use your old water there if you want to, because we're going to be using the black for the background, giving it a nice shadow. Okay. So we wet our brush and we go into the black on both sides of your brush. There you go. And I hold my brush perpendicular to the palette and I twist and pop up. Okay, that's spreading my bristles, and I come around. There you go, a touchdown, going in each direction, keeping the dark shadows more towards the top, okay, than the bottom. So we reload with the water down our brush into the lamp black and twist. And you repeat this over and over till you get a nice coverage of dark shadow. That's going to be underneath of the fur. Okay. So you rinse your brush and dab it off. And I go into my clean water now. And I'm going to go into my white, my warm white, and I load my bristles. I got a little bit of black in there, but that's okay. It's going to work out, okay? Twist and pop up. And I start here, and you can see how neat and how feathery. Okay, I'm hoping you can see the tips. Yes, you can. Comes down right past the toe, basically, covers the toe. You can see how you need that shade underneath it to bring it out. There you go. And you come on either side. I'm not going straight down. I'm going on either direction. Okay, so I'm just holding it up like this so you can see the very tips of the fur. And you come right to the top of the boot, okay, of the opening there. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little. Give your brush a good rinse. And you're going to go and do that again. So you go into your white and you do the same technique. Hold it up for you. You twist and pop up, okay? And I'll begin over here again. And it's becoming whiter. You see that? Because now it's just white. And even though we want to be white, we still want to have a little bit of that shade or that shadow there underneath. And we come down. So you can see the very tips of there you go. You can see the bottom portion of it there. Very feathery. And this is the brush that you use for that, right? It's an awesome brush. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry again a little. Rinse our brush. And I'm going to go back with a little bit more greenery. So while we're letting this area here dry, we're going to use our wave again, our number 16 black gold wave brush. And do I have it there? There it is there. And I go into the green, the plantation green. There you go. And corner into that white, okay? Just moving my palettes around there. And I'm going to make one here, I think. There you go. So you can see with not putting the black on first, you're coming a bit lighter in color. And that's a good thing. I'm just coming over because these branches are out in the forefront. And I'm coming right down to there. There you go. And I'm going to put another one right there, I think. You can add as many as you want. Well, can we see it here now? Okay. As many as you want, it's up to you. Okay. And there you go. You can see the two, we did the bit of black on our brush first for the background branches. And then we went and did our plantation pine and our white, okay? You can use any of the greens, the antique green. greenhouser, light greenhouser. It's another nice one for branches as well. So use what you have, okay? I'm going to put another feathery coat on the top of the boot, watering down my brush and going into my white again and twisting, go, and coming out. Don't be afraid to cover or go too close to your goodies in your boot, because it's nice too. That fur is nice and thick, so it would be. Can we see here now again? I'm just going to show you the tips. They're so feathery. There you go. Now you can add as much white to your boot top as you want. I do like to see a little bit of the gray, okay, the black underneath, but I feel over here in the center portion, it's a little bit heavy dark, so I'll go with my white again, just to give it a nice feathery coverage. Okay, I'm good with that. And you can see how the tips right over the toe of the boot there. Okay. Now on this side where our doll is, a moment now, I'm going to reposition this a little better so I can, there, we can see it better now. I'm going to put a few more tree branches there. And when you're doing branches leaning down, it's probably better for you if you turn your piece up, like upside down, I guess, or we'll do one this way, one down, and we'll do little one, bigger one, and medium one. Okay, so you can turn your piece around. There you go. Oh, no, I'm not going to see it that way. So we're going to see if we can just turn it sideways a little. Yeah, I think this will be good. Okay, we'll go into the plantation pine, a little bit of the white. And so it just takes a little bit of thinking, alrighty, because now you're doing opposite, but your white is still on top and your green is on the bottom. There you go. You're making your pine needles. Or not pine needles, pardon me. I call all branches pine needles. I love them. I've got a pine tree way in the back garden there, and I put a couple of the branches on my front door and stuff yesterday, making things really nice and festive. Come right down like that. Okay, so we'll do it again over on this side. And you're making sure that the white is on top, right? And you don't press very hard, because if you press too hard, they'll become too muted. Okay, and another little one here. Turning your bristles, your brush, turning your brush to make your bristles. Sounds like a song. There you go. And don't be afraid to go over the one next to you. That just makes it look nice and natural looking, okay? Okay. Now, I feel I want one right here, just kind of up there a little, just to finalize it, okay? So I'm going to lay my piece there, and you can see that. That's good. Okay, I'll go into the green, corner into the white, and There you go. Green and corner into the white. There you go. So that's our greenery. It's looking good. I like Raggedy Ann's hair there. If you want to add a bit more hair to it, you can. It's up to you. But basically, that is it for our Santa's goodies. Now, when your pine needles or your evergreen needles are all dried, you're going to put a coat of Americano Soft Touch Varnish. I like this varnish. It dries fast. And I use my large faux sable. If you have an old scuffy brush, you use that one. It's up to you. We're using a product, or on mine, you can see the glitter. I'm a glitter girl. I don't know if you can see it there. So you notice it more on the black or whatever. That's done with a product by DecoWork called Duraclear Galaxy Varnish. And if you get your hands on some of this cool stuff, you need to get some, okay? I use the size of a silver dollar or whatever, right? It's a dollop. We like to call it a dollop. Okay, I take my faux sable and I load up my brush and I go all over my piece, okay? You have to make sure that your piece is varnished first, though, okay? And then you go over your piece with this Galaxy varnish. It goes on, it seems like it's going to go on white, but it dries fast and it dries clear, so it's pretty cool. Okay, so it's almost dried. We're going to splatter this with a little bit of white to make our snow flecks on our piece. I like to use clean water, and with our faux sable comb, okay, just wet it down. I have some white here on this palette here, so we can go into this and make it wet, okay? You don't need, make sure that it's nice and sloppy, okay? I then take my larger brush and I just hit it. There you go, you're making snowflakes. And you're done. Rinse out your brushes there and you let that dry. When I first designed this piece, I was stuck on the red boot. That's what I was so attracted, was the color for the red, doing the trucks, everything this year is red. So when I designed the piece, I first did this piece. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I will show you. It's my boot, same thing, but it's done on a piece of pine, and it's a large piece. And I did the large greenery on top of it, the greenery, the berries, the bells, and Santa's boot. So that was my first take on it, was that one. And then I thought, okay, well, I love these canvases, and with the gallery canvas. And this was my second take on it. I just glued the greenery on my boot, and here we go. And just the greenery and the pine needles and the pine cones, and splattered it. So either or looks pretty cool. And then I thought, well, okay. Actually, it was Jilly Bean's suggestion. She, why don't you paint the boot and painting? And I said, okay, I'll put goodies in it. So it was pretty cool. So either or looks great. Well, I want to thank you for spending the first Friday again with me, myself and Jilly Bean. And I hope you enjoyed painting with me. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a great holiday season and do lots of FaceTiming, and we'll be in touch. Thank you very much.